Alrighty then, my roll chums. It is I, Daniel. You may call me the Pop Culture Dude, and today I feel like this is a topic that needs to be discussed for this itty bitty small channel, and the fact that I originally did not want to make a video on this channel right away thanks to my Jim Carrey birthday tribute video. If you have not seen it, I suggest you should go check it out. But if you're a new subscriber, or if you guys have been following my channel and been subscribed to it, welcome to the Pop Culture Dude, where I talk about culture things when it comes to the world of movies, TV shows, video games, merchandise, whatever. This is what the channel is basically all about, with yours truly, Daniel, and a little bit of acting and voice acting stuff that randomly shows up on this channel, but that's another good thing to add on this. But for right now, I feel like I need to discuss this topic just because it's been going on, and since I'm a big culture person who loves the movies, but obviously the entertainment industry, from how our experience watching movies here at home or at the theater impacts everything thanks to the virus that's been quarantining us for almost a year. They can't keep it away from us. So basically we keep on hearing delays after delays after delays. And we're like, stop it with these delays. I just want to see my most anticipated movie this year. And I know it's not that easy for us, the audience, but also the filmmakers and the studios that are doing their best just to release these movies like at a great certain time where it's like less COVID zone and less risky for most of those moviegoers who go out through their health. And there are some studios that have been trying their best, and the best example so far is Warner Brothers and their streaming service, which HBO Max. And if you have not noticed, but if you do know, I'll mention it again in this video because I mentioned it like 3 or 4 times in this channel. In 2021, since the pandemic is still going since last year, Warner Brothers made the bold decision and they experimented with Wonder Woman 1984. You have the option for their movies. You can choose to either watch it in theaters, but still wear your COVID mask whenever your theater is not bankrupt and eventually is not going out of business, and basically you have to stay socially distanced, and that's one of the things. But if you don't want to go out in public and don't have to risk your health or worry about COVID-19 or any of that, you have the opportunity to watch at home as long as you're subscribed to the HBO Max streaming service on the same day. And it worked out with the latest Wonder Woman movie, and it worked out fine both in theaters and their HBO Max service. And that means for those of you who are looking forward to the movies that Warner Bros. Releasing, from Tom and Jerry, Godzilla vs. King Kong, Space Jam: A New Legacy, which is one of my most anticipated movies of all time. And another thing is, I made a video, my top 5 most anticipated movies of 2021. Some of them remain the same in their release dates, but there's 2 in the videos and the movie that I mentioned that will get delayed, but we will get to that. But all those Warner Brothers movies that I told you about, you don't have to worry about the delays because they're doing their best for audiences to either pay a ticket to see a theater, but still in the pandemic, but either watch at home and it'll still benefit for the studio. So I know there's some celebrities and even filmmakers have some opinions against the idea, but I think that's a good idea just to, one, help the theater, like basically all the companies and theaters that basically don't go bankrupt, and eventually people to go out to see them. And it gives people the safe option to see the films that most of their filmmakers are eventually crafted for the studios to distribute, finance, and market. So I think it's beneficial for most audiences now today during this pandemic world that we are living in right now. So I think Warner Brothers made the bold decision. Disney, on the other hand, they're trying their best to make things safe. They have not released movies in theaters quite yet. They're just doing things only exclusively on their Disney Plus streaming service. Like for instance, when it comes to their big budget movies like the live action Mulan 2020 movie, that was still streaming service. And then their latest Pixar movies, Onward, which came out this, like not this year, but earlier of last year. And then by the end of this year, they released their latest Pixar movie, Soul. And that was the only option that they had to do, just release it on their Disney Plus service, but not release it in the theaters, which that's where they're probably having problems of delaying the next big Marvel movie, Black Widow, which they want to release it in theaters so badly, but they have no choice but to delay it again because, you know, the pandemic is eventually still happening. So there's studios that are just doing their best to release movies. Like if it feels necessary to release it on their streaming service, then it's fine. But there's one studio that is definitely against the idea of, no, we don't want our movies in a streaming service library, and that is Sony Pictures. And not too long ago, there's 2 movies that I mentioned in my top 5 most anticipated movies of 2020 that has been delayed, and it's the Uncharted movie, aka the live action adaptation of the name that is from the video game movie adaptation that is eventually going to be brought up to the big screen. And at the exact same time, it was supposed to come out on July 16, 2021, but now it's been delayed to February 11th, 2022. I guess 2022 is going to be the year of video game movies. The Sonic the Hedgehog movie sequel, which I will make more videos about that since I made enough in this channel. The animated Super Mario Bros. Movie, and possibly the next live-action Five Nights at Freddy's movie. Please make Jack Black make a cameo. But not all jokes aside, but basically, Sony Pictures is definitely one of the biggest examples that they do not want to release their movies just because they put so much money and budget to their big blockbuster movies that they want their audience to go pay and see it so it can help their box office records to eventually finance some more. And their next big upcoming movie that was number 3 on my top 5 movie list of 2021 is Ghostbusters Afterlife. It was eventually going to come out on June 11th of this summer, but Ghostbusters Afterlife got delayed in November 11th of 2021. So you got from a summer release date to fall, and funny enough, November 11th, 2021, hey, what an early 20th birthday gift, since I'll be 20 years old on November 12th. So thanks, Sony, even though we're not sure if it's going to be delayed for the whatever time it was supposed to have. And they recently just delayed their next Sony Spider-Man spin-off, Morbius the Living Vampire, played by Jared Leto. They released it in an October release date rather than it originally was supposed to be in March. One of the only big budget movies that I know that hasn't been delayed yet is the upcoming Venom sequel, Venom Let There Be Carnage, which I heard rumors that there might be a trailer during the Super Bowl on February 7th. We don't know, but if it gets delayed on the June 25th release date, then Sony might delay it. And there's some studios that are still currently working on their big budget movies. Like Sony is the best example from what we're seeing. Like the latest upcoming Spider-Man movie that's supposed to come out this Christmas of this year. They're still filming during the pandemic, where you can see on-set photos of Tom Holland and Zendaya, and eventually still filming during the pandemic. Same thing for Disney too, where they're trying to make Marvel Studios, where they're trying to film their current big budget movies, like the next Thor movie that's supposed to come out in 2022. They're still hiring their actors, so there's some movies that were filmed back in late 2019 or early 2020, but there's some studios that still wants to make their actors, their producers, the writers and directors still be on production and still stick to their productivity to eventually to start working so they don't have to go out of business or lose their unemployed jobs, and still keep them active for what they usually were during the Hollywood industry. And trust me, we do want to see these movies, whether regardless in a theater or regardless when we're at home or regardless when the whole COVID-19 virus is gone in general. So that's why I want to make this video all about and explain my thoughts about it. And I think Warner Brothers is making the safe, bold decision right now. Like, when their movies are coming out, no delays. Watch it in theaters, watch it at home. The choice is yours. So I'm glad that Space Jam: A New Legacy is not getting delayed. As for the other movies, I don't know. But for another thing is, we just got to make sure, like, will Disney still continue streaming exclusively with their movies, or they're going to do the same bold decision that Warner Brothers did with HBO Max? But on the bright side, speaking of movies, I know it's pretty minor, but when they release their own television series that is intended to be in their streaming services, like for instance, WandaVision that's intendedly to be on television, so that's no problem. Or with Netflix with their Cobra Kai series or the Jurassic World animated series. Like, when it comes to TV shows, it's necessary because people are ditching cable now. Now they're getting into the streaming services just because it has a much bigger library. There's no schedule that they have to worry about. You can watch whatever movie or series that you want to watch in their streaming services. And Netflix is one of those examples. Like, it's not really a big deal. But when it comes to big budget studios like Disney, Warner Brothers, Sony, or even MGM, where they delayed the latest James Bond movie, No Time to Die, to October, which is the exact same year that's going to happen. So October 2021 is going to have way too many packed movies. So that's how it's going to be. So this is what the choice is up to you. Would you rather just watch movies and have the exact same experience and getting used to at home just to be safe, or like, just release the movie in theaters already, I don't care since I can't stand the quarantine anymore? Well, that's fine. The choice is really up to you, but that's pretty much what I'd say. Like, even though I'm a little disappointed, like, oh, we have to wait later for this movie, make sure the pandemic is over and makes it less risky. But at the exact same time, if I have to watch it at home at a streaming service, so be it. Plus, when I'm at home, it's quiet, it's peaceful, I can pause, I can go pee, I can have any snacks, I can refill. But in a movie theater, as much as I love the experience, you can't do that just because everything's just so limited and you have to be prepared on schedule to see in a theater. Even though I do miss watching movies in a theater, but there's some good things and some bad things when it watches movies at home and at a theater. So That's basically the whole idea. But that's what I'm pretty sure is, like, hopefully, for me, I'm just gonna stick to just watch movies at home just to be safe, but also have the privacy that I need. But at the exact same time, when it comes to big budget movies, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm hyped for this. I'd rather see it on the big screen when I feel comfortable about it. But anyway, like I said, the thing is up to you. But that's all I have to say for today's video, and I feel like this topic needs to be discussed, and hopefully these movies come out at a good time and at a good release date where we all feel safe to watch them anytime regardless, theater or home. So yeah, that's it for today's video. Take care now. Bye bye then.